Welcome. The Collective is here for your information, knowledge, and love. What we ask of you is to sit and listen. Listen to the vibrations, the frequencies. This is what you seek. This is where the answers lie. Allow yourselves to be immersed in this frequency now. For this journey that all have been on, not just your life, but this journey, this expression of who you are, all of what you have encountered, much has felt a bit chaotic, a bit unsettled. This period of time is now coming to a close. Yes, there still will be chaos and unsettledness. That is how the world operates. But for each individual that understands themselves on this journey, that feeling of within, of unsettledness, not knowing what is to come, the challenges, that is coming to an end. For that climb to the top of where it is completely disruptive, you are now over the edge, coming back down into a quiet valley. It is finding yourself now questioning, for there are many questions. What has taken place? Why this? Why am I? And some of you even feeling disconnected from it all. You've been immersed in the spiritual, in the metaphysical, in the energy, and yet you feel as if you're disconnected from it. You're not. Understand that. You are not. This is the integration. This is truly what it feels like to integrate into it all. To know yourself, that you have experienced so much, and now here you are, feeling as if you've lost it all, but you haven't. It's an integration point. For as a child, you go through so many years of school, or you go on to college, and it feels like it never ends. It's just there in front of you. You can't get out of its way. It is always present. That is what it was just like. But then you do see the end of it, the graduation. The point at which you take everything you've just learned and you integrate it. That is the point at which you are here today. You are integrating. So don't lose hope. You haven't lost anything. You are integrating it all. It is understanding this of self. It is the true self that exists within, this true divine self that is now beginning to express itself in its fullest. This is what the world will see of you. There's no need to force yourself out into the world, because the world will see who you are, that divine being. All the lessons that have been taken in, all of the teachings that have been brought to you, everything is right there, right at your fingertips. Yes, all of the different modalities you may have learned, they are important. But you are the most important modality there is. It is to take everything that you've learned, everything that you've gained over this period of time, and now use it in your own creative way. Call it your own. You are your own master of what you have learned. That is what the world wishes to see. Yes, consciousness is still rising. The unified field is expanding. Ascension is still upon us. You exist within it. So do not feel lost or disparaged. Understand that you are here to be the divine force for all to see. Therefore, if you have questions, please begin.
Thank you so much for your presence tonight. So Vera wonders about the monthly Earth turnover rate. For example, how many humans and animals are born and die each month? Are the number of souls on the planet at any one time regulated? And if so, who or what would do that?
For the simplest way to answer that, yes, there is a balance. The term regulate would, yes, imply that there is some force acting upon another force to keep it in balance. It is not that. It is understanding, yes, percentage-wise, there is, if you are to categorize it as you have, as a whole, anywhere between a low of 20% and the high of 35%. That is your, as you say, turnover rate, monthly, if you wish to look at upon it. But don't think of it in the way of the exchange of souls or the exchange of humans or animals or insects or any other living thing on this planet. Trees, blades of grass, flowers. You see, everything has a cycle. And that is really how it is to understand this expression of existence on this planet. Everything has a cycle. Humans have a cycle. When you understand it in the manner that, yes, you come in to have the experience and you understand that this experience is yet temporary, but it is the accumulative lifetimes that you gain the greatest knowledge. Your divine expression, this divine being that is within, it comes here to grow, to expand. It chooses these lives, many do not. And yes, the phrase has been used over and over again, only but the strongest come into this human form. Yes, that is true. But yet, it is temporary. The human form is. There isn't an energy, a group of beings, a divine entity that is governing how many come and go. It is a natural balancing process. You could say Mother Earth has somewhat of a control over that. You could say all the oversouls have an understanding of this. Source has an understanding of this. But none of them are all combined to make this balance. This is all predetermined in the contractual agreements. For when you choose your contract, you choose a life, yet you may not know at the moment that you incarnate how long that life may be, but you do when you're drawing that contract. You know that when you enter into that body, it may only have this period of time, but that is purposeful because at the next iteration you're going to be here longer because that's the life you choose. So it is a bit more complicated than just who governs it, what's the percentage. It is understanding this is a divine process of balance that has always been in place. So do not overcomplicate it by trying to do some mathematical equation of how many individuals or souls are on the planet at any particular point. There is not a point at which there will be a tipping point of souls on the planet for it then to cascade into an unresolved process. But understand, it comes down to you and recognizing the path that you're on, the contract that you have put before yourself. And it is to be here to know that you are part of that balance. All from the past and into the future. Each one of those lives is purposeful to keep that balance.
Fantastic, thank you for that. So I know you've spoken about Three-Eye Atlas in the past, but there is a current theory out there that Three-Eye Atlas is related to the Anunnaki and that they are here at this time to piggyback on the energies of the earth and humans as our vibration raises in order to free the entities trapped in lower fourth density. Can you speak to that theory, please?
It's a matter of perspective. Where do you see how you fit into the process? It is greater than what is Three-Eye Atlas, what is the purpose, or the Anunnaki, or any dimensional plane. It is understanding that with all the approximate of 8 billion people, that everyone is living their own reality perspective. It is the framework by which you have constructed your own reality when you have put your essence into that physical body. That contract that you put in place is the framework by which your reality is going to be viewed. So yes, there will be a contingent of humans that believe the Three-Eye Atlas is the energy source by which the Anunnaki are going to come back into a dimensional plane to, once again, do harm to humans. It is taking a personal perspective of your reality point. Is Three-Eye Atlas important? Yes, it is. Its transit through your solar system is important. The vibrational forces that it is creating, just as your planets, your stars, your moons, everything has a purpose and how it is connected to the Earth planet. Its vibrational force is an awakening force. Its vibrational force is one to elicit these thoughts, to bring into an understanding of your reality. There isn't a right or wrong reality. This is where many humans find it difficult, but that isn't correct. That isn't correct because it doesn't meet your reality framework. It is correct in their reality framework. If all humans upon this planet understood this of themselves, that they are living an individual reality that is a collective consciousness, then they would understand and they would unite. But that hasn't found its way into the stream of understanding. 3i Atlas, its purpose, its wake through your solar system is purposeful. It is to elicit change, thought, provoke. Allow it to do so. It's a transient energy that is purposeful. Allow yourself to unite with it, to elicit that change, provoke those thoughts, bring into perspective the framework of your reality.
Fantastic, thank you for that. So Mark S. has experienced a year of unexpected changes. What does 2026 and living in Missouri have in store for him and his wife, please?
For as it has been said in the beginning, and it applies to you, 2026 for many is going to be that breath of fresh air. That point at which you can settle. It doesn't mean there's still going to be disruptions, there will be. But you're more well equipped to understand them, to handle them, to work through them, to have the insight of how to remedy them. You have to look at 2025 as the poking and the prodding of all of the energies that everyone was connected to. Everything on your planet. It was to be a bit disruptive, and it has been. That doesn't mean that 2026 is going to be rays of sunshine all throughout the planet. It just means that what you perceive as challenges are no longer going to be perceived as challenges. 2026 has already been set for all of you. So, for yourself, look at 2026 as a horizon point. Look at it, that it sits there before you now, and you understand that everything that you've already encountered has already been put aside. Into 2026, take a breath. Know the strength that you have. Be present in who you are, in what you are doing. Be the force by which that horizon grows larger and larger, and you become what you've wanted to. It is the point of opportunity. 2026 is the point of opportunity. Allow that to be the understanding.
Awesome, thank you for that. Lauren G. wonders if there are aspects of her past or soul lineage connected to Egypt, including particular sites, energies, or initiations that will be especially meaningful for her personal growth or soul path.
For as you step foot upon the land that, yes, you have once come from, there will be a recognition, but not of what you see above. It's what you know that lies beneath. That is what will be familiar to you. Yes, in the Giza Plateau, you will understand it at a much different level. You'll see the sights with your eyes, but you know from the depths of who you are where it all exists and where you've come from. Yes, you have served many lifetimes, prominent lifetimes. But those lifetimes, there in Luxor, that location that you will visit, here you will see yourself. You will even see the reflection of yourself as you prepare yourself for the day, because that is home. So it is to take in with your eyes which you see, but it is to know what wells up from beneath where you've come from. It is more than what is observed, what lies beneath your feet.
Wonderful, thank you. Natalie S. wonders how she can go about navigating keeping her home while waiting for disability benefits. Will she achieve financial security in a comfortable manner?
Yes. The simplest answer is yes, but how do you find your way to that in your humanness? And this answer can be applied to many that are struggling. See, the energy of struggle is what keeps you from achieving that financial success or any success, period. The more you challenge yourself with it of worry, fear, angst, that vibration flows out. And all of what is meant to be applied to you is buffeted by those vibrations. Then it is the question. I'm human. I have to pay bills, I have to do things, I have to have a home, I have to eat, I have to do all these things so that my human vessel can do the things you want it to do. Yes, that's correct. You have the ability to do so much more. But you're resisting. So in the resistance, you have all of the other vibrations that are going out. It is to find true inner peace, to know and trust and surrender that all is right there in front of you. And as soon as that trust and that surrender and that empowerment takes place, that's when you begin to see what you are to be afforded. But if you are seeking, yes, you know what is out there, you know that this is what you've applied for, this is what you want. That's energy that's being expended that doesn't need to be expended. It already has taken place. Allow it to take place. Come to the center and surrender and know that it is taking place. The answer is yes, it is there. The financial stability, all of it is there. But your vibrations are pushing it aside. Find those moments of inner peace, and you'll see it starts to fall into place much quicker.
Beautiful, thank you for that. Kathleen wonders what changes are in store for her life and career in 2026 and how she can best prepare.
For there is an opportunity intersection that is out in the 2026 year. But it's going to require a bit of change. Change in the current, yes, employment. But this change is what brings the opportunity about. Because it is shall be understood this way. When you sense that change, you sense it starting to build, that's when you act, and that's when the opportunity is provided to you. And think of yourself as a bit of the catalyst for your own change. You have to vibrate the system so that the opportunity can be presented to you, because it will be presented to you. But you have to shake the system, vibrate the system. It'll be uncomfortable at first, but you'll understand the reasoning behind it as soon as it begins. You know what needs to be unsettled in order for it to settle and have the opportunity be provided. That is what is out there for you in 2026.
Good to know, thank you. Monica C. says that during a private channeling session, she received information about a healing center that she would be working at in the future. Is that still on track, and how does it relate to her profession as an equine and human healing practitioner?
So yes, the beginning stages of it are going to take place. It will no longer be a dream state in this coming year. It will begin to take shape. Doesn't mean it will be fully built for you, but everything will begin to be put in place so that it can begin the process of bringing that center into fruition. So, how does it work with what you're doing? It is exactly what you are doing. That is why the center is going to be built. For it is the healing, it is the unison of healing between horses and humans. It is the synergy between the two that is necessary for the greatest healing. The visions that you've had are the foundations by which it will grow. But in this coming year is when the pieces begin to come together. They begin to align. You begin to see it for what it is. It's no longer just in the dream state, in the energy state. So allow yourself to be witness to what is going to be placed upon your path. It is there. And yet, you've already orchestrated every single piece of this, so understand, there isn't anything to be missed. You will see it all.
Lovely, thank you. Judy B. wonders if her guides or the beings who have been visiting her have any insight or message of clarity for her regarding the dream in which she was levitating.
For as unsettled as some of it was, this, and here too, this could be understood not only by yourself, but many others. The boundary between the physicality and the pure energy state is thinning. As it has been said before, that the veil has lifted or has become thin and you can see more. Think of it as the next layer in that experience. The line, the division between the physical state, the physical human, this physical being, this physical thing, and that divine being that you are. The energy being that you are, that is inside, that animates this physical being. The line between them is very thin for you. So at any point, yes, levitation, as interesting as it might sound, is possible. Because you're not going to levitate the physical body just yet. You are levitating your energy to the point where it feels as if it slipped the bounds of the physicality. But it feels like you're still attached to the physicality. You are. But it is knowing and understanding this is for purpose. This knowing of that ability to allow the essence to rise just a bit out of the body, you're going to understand the healing that takes place within that space. There's a more direct healing in the physicality that can take place when you have allowed yourself to rise just slightly above it, levitate. You can then see the physicality. You can see what is in the physicality that needs to be addressed more clearly. You begin to formulate the process by which the healing is going to take place. And once it is understood, then you settle back into the physicality, merge back together, and you have a healing plan. Understand that even with those that you work with, this is possible. This is for all to understand. The more you are connected to your own divine essence and have the control of your divine essence, you can approach others in a healing manner and work with them in their divine essence. Not disconnecting from their humanness, no, but you are fully immersed in that divine field and you can see all aspects much greater. So this is the next process, if you wish to understand it in that manner.
Are they teaching her this process?
Therefore, it is an introduction to understand that this is possible. In time, you will begin to experiment on your own with this process. You can call upon, yes, your guides, your team, even your higher self to step in and show you. Allow yourself to feel that essence just rising up. It isn't far, but it is enough to where you can see your humanness below. And you can see it in its entirety and know where the healing is required.
So we had several experiences of this. Once when Ron was giving Reiki to Will in a chair and his body felt as if it was levitating. A second time when Selena was our client and Will and I were giving her Reiki, and this happened by accident many years ago, where she separated and then came back together, yes?
Yeah, this is correct.
And then the medium friend of ours who said that she had a vision of Will and that when we worked with people, I guess the atoms would sort of come apart and then we would heal and then they'd be brought back together. It's sort of the same thing.
This is very similar, yes. This is the understanding of this divine body, this divine essence. It is working within the divine field and allowing it to free itself of the density of the physical body. This is where the purest healing emerges. It will take different shapes, different forms, but this is a process that is and will be understood.
Thank you for that. So Wendy wonders if she has a dragon guide, and if so, can you describe their look and their purpose?
For this is an older wise dragon that you would say is a bit consuming. It is quite large. It will fill a room. It is very a red throughout, but with a black stripe up through the middle, around the eyes. It is a bit on the gray side, giving it a bit of a mask appearance. It is to understand that the powers and the force that are contained within these are your powers. These are your powers, but expressed through this wise elder of a dragon. So it is easier to see that of yourself in him at times than it is easy to see it in yourself. So call upon, and the naming will come from you, call upon. Envision him filling your room, wrapping the tail around you, looking there into your eyes, and you call and ask, "What name shall I give you?" And it will come to you. And you will sense this power of self within him. And this will be the beginning of the journey. This is the introduction. Now that you have a vision, allow yourself to play with your dragon.
Wonderful, thank you. So Dana L. wonders what you can share about her future healing work for the earth and all beings on this land. Will a move be involved?
Yes, a move will be involved, but not in the immediate future. That is to come. This healing, this is an evolution of healing. And you know this of yourself and the deep connection you have with Mother Earth and all of its energy, all of its beings. Inner Earth, Terra, humans, animals, all of it. But it begins with understanding the vortices and the activation of the vortices. It's similar to doing grid work. It is this process of locating the vortices. And you're going to find, and all humans are going to find, in the next several years, there are going to be a number of vortices that are going to be activated that you will see with your own physical eyes. It'll be an energy spiral that you will see with your own eyes. But in the meantime, it is to sense them, know and mark them. Allow the animals and the birds and the insects to show you. They're the ones that are already showing you your path. Allow them to guide you of where the vortices lie. Mark them. Allow yourself to create a stone circle, stack stones, lay some branches, however you wish to see it. But it is through these vortices, once they're activated, it isn't your purpose to activate them. Mark them, they will be activated. But once they're activated, that is when you and your healing amplifies. As they begin to connect their own grid system, your healing within begins to amplify. You're already feeling it as many of the vortices are already coming online. And it is to allow all beings to be your teacher. Allow yourself to be immersed in that experience of Terra beings, inner earth beings, humans, animals, insects. It is to embrace it as a collective. That is the greatest amount of teaching that can be understood.
Beautiful, thank you for that. Samantha K wonders what she needs to know about this the astronomy, class that she has signed up for, and her relationship with astronomy in general, astrology rather.
For the astrology is going to be yet just another tool, simply put. But it is the combination of, yes, the astrology and the astronomy. It is understanding the placements of everything that is above, and it is understanding how it relates to one's existence. Now, this class that you are taking is just the, you could say, the primer to what is going to evolve for you. For you understand the intuitive nature by which you express yourself. You psychically connect. You intuitively converse. That is the foundation by which you then begin to understand the astrology. For astrology, yes, has been in place for eons. But it is only through the times of modern man that it has been orchestrated. It is understanding where it's come from. It's understanding the true purposes. And this is where the intuitive, the psychic, all come into play. So don't become frustrated with what you are learning. You are learning only as a primer to what you are going to be experiencing. Allow yourself to grow in this. This isn't by chance that this has been placed before you. Yes, you have placed this before yourself. Allow that weight to fall off. It wasn't by anybody else's means but your own, and now it's to experience it.
Awesome, thank you for that. Willis P. wonders if there is a message for him. What does he need to know tonight, please?
For there is a another paradigm shift that is going to be taking place very soon. There's many different revelations that have already taken place. There's been much change that has been taking place. This will be a paradigm shift that you will bring to others. The revelations that have been coming to you, these bits of information that are coming to you, these are not just mere voices. These are not just mere energies. These are the wisdom team that you are aligned to and have been aligned to from that earliest of age. But yes, they are revelations. They're moments in time of rethinking how the construct of religion has been applied. So this paradigm shift is one that is, yes, for you, but it is for others, more importantly. You are going to be stepping into a new role. And yes, there is yet more work to be done.
Exciting, thank you. So the other day, Will and I experienced a scalar wave container. And during that time, Will's zeta popped in, and he was coming from the 8th dimension instead of the 5th like he normally does. And he said that he was there to assist us. So 2 questions. 1, what was he assisting us with? And number 2, what is happening when humans come into contact with this scalar wave container?
Yes, the presence of the zeta was purposeful. This was to remind William, yes, the connection point is still there. But just as William has evolved in his process, so too has his zeta. The connection point is still there, though William at times believes it is not, because he's not receiving the downloads or the information that he once had. It's coming differently now. What is he helping with is this, the progression of the channeling, the progression of your intuitive growth, your expansion of your clarity. So he is creating a channel between the two of you for simultaneous growth. So he is helping in this manner. The scalar wave, this and container, this is a one must understand a point at which in time there were no devices, there were no electronics, there were no mechanisms or machinery on this planet. One would say it was quite quiet. Yes, it was. But the harmonic of your planet, the frequency of your planet, was ever present. So, in that presence of that field of energy, what you understand as clairs were always present. Intuitive abilities were always present. Psychic abilities were always present. Communication with spirits was always present. It was always part of the dynamic. But as humanity progressed, that got drowned out in the background of all the other noise. So the scalar is just that. Once again, it is creating a container of that supportive field of energy to immerse yourself of what once was. And so yes, you are going to have those that are sensitive, those that are aware, those that have frequency sets that can connect will have experiences. Because you're immersing yourself in a container of quiet, of vibrational field that supports all of what is innate in a human.
Fantastic, awesome, thank you for that. So the other day, Elaine and I both saw in separate areas clouds that looked like DNA. Then when I got home that day, I realized that the gentleman who actually discovered what we know as DNA had died that day. Obviously that wasn't a coincidence. Was he sending messages to people, or what was happening?
For you are correct in your observation, it is not by coincidence. For it isn't that there was a message to be sent, but it was more of a focus point of your awareness, and to see the correlation between that and the physical world around you. Yes, you observed it, had no idea what was taking place, but it was an amazing looking cloud. And then you find that someone that had something to do with the discovery of DNA had passed. See, you were given the sign of that connection point. It is understanding, and this is again for humanity to understand. You are constantly in a field of symbols and signs to be recognized. There are messages abound all around you all the time, but you choose not to see them. Or when you see them, you question them, you try to make a cognitive connection to it versus a heart connection to it. And you ask questions. That's the human nature, to ask questions. Why did this happen? Why did that happen? Instead of going inward, thank you. What messages am I supposed to receive from that? What learning am I supposed to understand from that? Thank you for allowing my awareness to see that. I wish to see more. So for you, it is the recognition that there is the unexplained piece with the explained piece. It is always there in your awareness field. Allow yourself to recognize it, and you will see more.
Wonderful, thank you for that. Before we close, are there any final remarks from the collective, please?
Simply put, it is to understand what is to come in a way of being optimistic. You have been through much. Now it's time to breathe. It's time to recognize the strength of who you are, the divine placement of who you are, the divine essence of who you are. Breathe into that. Allow that to be the projection that the world sees. And as you're breathing into that, the sense of integration, the sense of calm, and the sense of strength to move forward will be ever present.
Outstanding. Thank you so very much for your presence tonight.
Thank you. And as always, the collective is here for your information, knowledge, and love.